The audio commentary. It's a dying art form, but here at One Track Mind, I, your wonky yet affable host Ryan Luis Rodriguez, analyze film through the prism of these embryonic forms of podcasting, one audio commentary at a time. Masterpieces, crapster pieces, live action, animation, cult classics, films literally no one has ever heard of. No track is too small, and no track is too big. Join me and my guests from the entertainment world as we keep these features alive every other Tuesday. Hey, who else is going to discuss Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey one week and Citizen Kane the next? Us, that's who. Sure, you have to put up with my voice, but there's a certain give and take in this industry. That's One Track Mind, part of the Someone's Favorite Productions family, and available wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, this is Aaron West. I am the author of the A24 New Wave. In this book, I look at A24's output and I make the argument that we are in a new wave movement right now. A24 plays a major role. This book has a supplemental podcast where each episode is a brief conversation about an A24 related topic, whether an actor, director, or even a genre. As I continue research for the book and conduct interviews, I expect to record podcast episodes with people involved with the company. You can find the podcast at cinejourneys.com or wherever you find podcasts, and we are proud to be members of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Welcome to the Three Guys Podcast. I am your host, Chris Stachiw, and I'm joined by two other bros who are straight out of Akron, Ohio, my dudes. One of them you already know, Jess Byard.
Hello.
That was really understated.
That's my MO, Chris.
Do not know, but if you listen to the Scary Stories We Tell podcast, you have seen the art that she has done for that podcast. She's also done the art for several of the other podcasts that I am a part of. Our good friend, Maggie the Odd.
Hey, how's it going? Is that better?
Oscillating between the two tonight. Just all over the place.
You have to tell us all apart, damn it. You can't see our faces, which are also very similar.
True, yeah. You see us in public, and it's like, I don't know.
And no one can see my face right now, thankfully, but if you could, I look like a tomato. I am sunburned.
He's the rock lobster.
Yeah, I am. As opposed to last podcast, where we didn't have Jess on. That was the start of Jess Byard June, where we talked about The Devils. It's still Jess Byard June, and we are talking about another Ken Russell film, Lisztomania.
Forgiven for my past. say how I feel.
Lisztomania, I guess. Let's say it right. We're professionals here.
Lisztomania!
Sort of.
Need some kind of accent to go with that.
German.
Really stereotypical German.
So the film is directed by Ken Russell, written by Ken Russell. It stars lead singer of The Who, Roger Daltrey, as the titular Liszt, Mr. Franz Liszt, and it is an autobiographical film. I completely fucked that up. But it is a biopic, maybe? Possibly not at all. Who knows?
It is
alien spaceships?
Oh, I have perfect phrases.
It's a cartoon in movie form,
It's
right?
a cartoonish but accurate history of a musician that tackles references from his time and our time. It is a true pop art film.
Did you come prepared with notes?
I love this movie. I'm sorry.
And she forgot her notes.
Yeah, I left all 2 pages of my notes downstairs, thank you.
You have them memorized. You're a real fucking pro. It is, they use a word on Wikipedia about the film, and I would agree that this is very much the way that the film should be described. It has a lot of anachronistic elements to it. More so than most films that are meant to be about someone's quote-unquote actual life. But before we talk about the film, I am curious, Jess, because you had so many Ken Russell films to pick from. Why did you pick this one?
Well, this was not the first Ken Russell movie that I had watched. I think the first was actually Altered States back in high school, which is an entirely different tone because it's written by Patty Chayefsky. So it's not a Ken Russell written movie. So it's a whole different thing. But I picked this movie because, well, I know that Maggie would be on it with us because we first watched this movie together with some kind of substances.
This is a safe zone. This is a safe zone.
With some alcohol and stuff. And it's a movie that I've never seen before, and I haven't really seen anything like it outside of Ken Russell's other filmography, which you'll see later on in the month. But I think that this is probably his most bombastic and his most probably true to him and like how he interprets things. And that's what I enjoy about Ken Russell, is because it's all his interpretation of life and other people's lives.
And he was madly in love with classical music. Like, he is quoted saying that, like, that was the reason why he got out of his, like, depression pit. He literally got really amped on some classical music, would dance naked in his parents' house. It's great.
God damn.
I know. You gotta love it.
Well, I am curious. Jesus Christ. Talk about old man clearing his throat over. Hold on.
Do you need a Werther's?
So Maggie, I am curious. First time on the Kulturecast, or the Three Guys podcast. That's what it's going to be called.
Yes, the Three Guys. Thank you.
Anytime you're on, that's what it's going to be called. Because we're just
good.
three bros having a conversation. Hail Satan, everyone.
Wow.
Oh, we're so funny. Let's sign exclusively to Spotify so all of our fans hate us.
Okay.
Unless there's money, then we will definitely do that.
Back the dump truck up to my house first, and then we'll talk.
Perfect.
Maggie, why do you like this film so much? Because you've already said that you absolutely love this film.
Oh, yeah, I pretty much marathon this. I could watch it every day and not get tired of it. So this movie was on my, like, holy grail list where I wanted to find it so badly, and then I forgot about it because that's what happens with those lists. But the reason why I wanted in on this movie was because the soundtrack, as well as one of the characters, is all Rick Wakeman, and he is, like, one of my favorite musicians. I fucking love him. He's fantastic. But yeah, he had a key part being Thor toward the end, and
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
Hello, filthy movie lovers. My name is Gentry Austin.
And I'm Casey Scott.
And we're the hosts of the Sin Syndicate, film podcast for something weirdos, anti-criterion bros, and Joseph Sarno aficionados. Join us semi-weekly as we peer into the adults-only theaters and sticky-floored cinemas of the golden age of sexploitation, when the morals were loose, the laws were murky, and the intercourse was all simulated. Find us now on the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
he helped with the soundtrack, which just bought me on vinyl before I even watched the movie and fell in love with. It's just the perfect melding of Franz Liszt's actual work as well as his interpretation, especially in the beginning with the chopsticks back and forth between him and Wagner's work. It's like flawless victory. I love it. So watching this, it's exactly what I had hoped for. Something so bizarre, it just works. So that's why it's like in my top tier favorite movies, period, let alone Ken Russell movies.
So like the last episode, I hadn't seen any Ken Russell movies up until watching The Devils.
No
and holy
kidding.
shit.
What a start.
Right, well, first off, boy, right? I mean, holy shit, talk about an opening salvo. But then you come to this, and it is just as loud and boisterous a film. I mean, there is nothing about this film that, like, is lacking almost to a fault at some points.
Oh,
and
definitely.
similarly to The Devils, I mean, The Devils was full of style and really bold performances by Oliver Reed and Vanessa Redgrave, and I totally forgot his name, Michael Gothard, I believe that's his name, but that movie is over the top in its own way, and then you come to this movie. This is one of those films where the moment you turn it on, it is a fucking fever dream of a film.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It opens with Tex Avery energy right there.
Yeah, it is a cartoon. Like, it is a cartoon in film form. And as someone who is a huge fan of classic Looney Tunes cartoons, like you already mentioned, Maggie, Tex Avery, I mean, the opening is insane and it sets the tone for the rest of the film. I personally feel like the film kind of peters out in the last third. It starts to kind of...
You're not alone.
Oh no, it tumbles over itself.
Okay. I'm making, I know that I don't want to like step on any toes if someone really likes something, but I think the final third of the film has its problems and we'll get to them, but the opening of this film is, I don't know what else to say other than you need to watch it to understand.
Within seconds, you know your lead character, period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And look, I hadn't seen Roger Daltrey in anything else other than one episode of Tales from the Crypt, one of the best episodes of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Where he plays that scummy photographer apart or on the opposite fucking Steve Buscemi, where Steve Buscemi starts falling apart and turning into a puddle of goo.
That's amazing. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was the only time I'd ever seen Roger Daltrey acting, so I wasn't really sure what to expect because that role is so, night and day different from this film. I mean, in this film, he's insanely charismatic, just like he was on stage, and this movie is just, it's completely wild in every way.
Yeah, well, and Ken Russell really liked using him as that role just because he was so, intrigued by pop culture icons, especially rock and rollers. So having, that nice contemporary perspective on these people in history, it's surprisingly accurate for as bombastic and wild as it is. He kept his facts straight. All of the nods are so on point. like, essentially after all throughout the movie is accurate up until the point of Count Hitlerstein. So that's where it starts losing its accuracy, but...
Yeah, so that's a thing that happens. Wagner
sure
becomes
is.
Frankenstein Hitler.
Count Hitlerstein.
Yeah, it's... Oh, my lord. So, the film, like Maggie and Jess have already mentioned, follows the life of Franz Liszt. Kind of. It takes some
Kind of.
artistic impulses, which is a good thing, because if it were just a straightforward film about his life, who wants to watch that, right?
Actually, Franz Liszt, I would. That guy was all over the fucking place.
Sure, but you and I both know it would not be as entertaining as this.
Not as glitzy, no.
Is that
It's
what
like
we're
the
calling
glam
this?
rock version.
Yeah, sure. I would definitely miss an 8-foot prop. I would miss that in the interpretation, but...
Yeah, so there is a point in this film where there is a... You just read right for it. There's a big ass dick in this movie.
Yeah. They constructed a hell of a dick.
Yeah, it is.
Man, that art department must have had so much fun.
Oh, I would have.
Make it look veinier on the side.
Oh my gosh, like the
need the
detail.
vein.
The fact that, like, 5 ladies were able to write it, that's a testament to the construction.
And there was more room.
Oh, yeah.
It is, I mean, this whole scene of when Liszt goes to St. Petersburg and he meets the princess, and then he goes into this fever dream within a fever dream film where he's hallucinating his libido being stroked so hardcore that he sprouts a 10-foot erection. I think it's the entire... It essentially decodes the entire film.
It's a great scene and a great nod to, like, Faust and Orpheus. Like, it's hilarious. It's all classic references, but utilizing an 8-foot dick. It's
well, and
so
you characterize
bizarre.
this against something like Amadeus and...
Yeah.
Because, like, that, I mean, I don't know if there aren't a lot of things to compare this to. I mean, you could compare it to other biopics about artists, but, I mean, if we're talking about an artist in, you know, the late 60s or 70s compared to an artist who was alive, you know, hundreds of years ago in, like, 1811, like, there's a huge difference, obviously.
Yeah.
And going in with, I mean... Ken Russell himself, as you'll see, you've already seen it in The Devils, and you'll see it definitely in the next few movies that we watch. And while Maggie and I said we were going to read the book Phallic Frenzy before this podcast, we both tried, and...
The writing style is very much a fanboy of Ken Russell. It's a bit too dick-flavored.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that whole movie...
Sign me up, or...
It depends on how cheesy you want to get. It's very fun because the writer actually worked very closely with Ken, and Ken thought it was so hilarious he went with it. So, like, at least it got his blessing. I can appreciate that and the details in it, but it is a very long read if you can't handle so many sex puns. But that was a very prominent thing in Ken Russell's creative, kind of his whole entire project stuff, is that it was very sexually charged, and he thought that really kind of helped tell the story that he wanted to tell.
Just like The Devils, this film is very full of phallic imagery.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a point where the Princess of Russia is, standing in a room that... It just looks like a bunch of dicks in the background.
Yeah, after the Chamber of Assholes.
Yes, the Chamber of Butts on the wall, just farting out gas.
Yeah.
Which, fun fact, the person who leads Roger Daltrey into that room, who is that actor?
Is that Oliver Reed?
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun cameos in this movie.
Oh yeah, Ringo Starr is the Pope.
The slowest beetle.
Oh, dear God.
That's right. Why did you send the slowest beetle?
I mean, I was probably the only one who would say yes. I don't know. Ringo Starr to me always seemed like Ringo to me. And we're gonna go off on a tangent here. Ringo always seemed like the fun one.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree. I would rather hang with Ringo than any of them, I think.
I don't know if I'd rather hang with Ringo, but he seemed like
I think I'd rather hang with George.
Exactly. I'm right there with you. George Harrison was my favorite Beatle, and it is a goddamn shame that, again, Paul McCartney, take it or leave it, whatever. But it's a damn shame that George Harrison was taken from this earth long before his time.
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
Hello, my name is Kevin Tudor, and I'm one of the 3 hosts of Almost Major, a film podcast dissecting many major indie studios and the films they release. Every week, myself, Charlie Nash, and Bryden Doyle discuss overlooked, forgotten, or bona fide classic indie films via studio-specific miniseries. We've previously covered numerous films from Artisan Entertainment, Lionsgate Films, and New Line Cinema. Titles including The Blair Witch Project, American Psycho, Dogville, But I'm a Cheerleader, Saw, Requiem for a Dream, and Ringmaster, the Jerry Springer film. Anyways, we have a fun time every week, and we hope you will join us. Subscribe to Almost Major wherever you get your podcasts. Now proudly a part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we're left with Ringo Starr.
And Paul McCartney. He's still around.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know.
Chris has disowned him completely.
I like
he
Paul McCartney, but
unless he believes the whole theory of another podcast we're going to be doing about a certain death of a Beatle.
That's not Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney's been dead for like 50 years. I don't know. I've always felt like Paul McCartney was kind of, because, that was always the thing, right? It was always between Lennon and McCartney. And they were always the ones whose egos were pulling the band apart. And I have a hard time reconciling that.
Because George and Ringo are just like, I just want to play some music, man.
Meanwhile, I'm over here just marathoning the Monkees, being like, yay!
Mickey Dolenz, come on, what's wrong with Mickey Dolenz?
Yep. God, nothing.
Like you mentioned, Maggie, there's also Rick Wakeman is in the film.
Yes.
As Thor? Question mark?
Yeah, as the the initial German Superman, but yes, modeled after Thor, one of the classic nods to like pop art and idoldom where superheroes were the big thing. So it's like, yeah, I love that. Absolutely love that. And it's just so gaudy and heinous, but I do like the giant record contraption. I want that in my living room.
I think the issue that I have with when we get to the point where that character is introduced is it feels like the film is not spinning its wheels, but kind of.
It's spinning it too hard. It's burning itself out.
Yeah, it's trying like way too hard, right?
It feels like it ends like 3 different times.
Yeah.
It could have ended in the heaven cloud.
Honestly, I would have been fine if, building lands on Wagner and that was it. He could even come back as a vampire. I don't care, because it's really weird making him a vampire at the last second. But I get what Ken Russell was trying to kind of portray with Wagner. He was very much ahead of his time as a composer, but he was also ahead of his time for being a Nazi. So it's also just so in poor taste that I think that it's just the voodoo aspect. Like, Franz Liszt lived to be in his, 80s, I think. So it's like,
he sure did.
Like that, so.
But you're saying that he didn't go to heaven and then fly down in a pipe organ spaceship?
Yeah, powered by women. That happened when he was 80. I'm saying it didn't. I'm not saying it didn't happen, Chris. I'm saying it just happened later.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay.
Right.
My mistake.
I saw it happen.
Powered by all the women in his life. This movie's ending kind of feels like the ending of All That Jazz.
Ooh, yeah,
it totally does.
Yeah, actually, if you mentioned that one, there's another movie on this list that happens later in the month that has an even more All That Jazz ending. But But I'll leave it
Yes,
at that.
that's true.
I agree. This one, I think the only redeeming fact other than the sweet spaceship is I do like the credit sequence, but that's literally it. I could have done without the over-the-top marching through the streets. That was just like, didn't need it.
You mean when Hitler, Wagner, Frankenstein, what were you calling him?
Count Hitlerstein.
Count Hitlerstein was mowing down all the Jews in the street with his guitar gun?
Yeah. I mean, as epic as that reveal was initially, like, I laughed really hard, but then I just stopped laughing, and it could have ended after the laughter.
Yeah, they could have just been like, he's killing people, I don't need to see it.
Right, or just cut to the spaceship. I don't know. There's so many other ways, because, like, both people had very fascinating lives. They could have gone in, like, a million different directions. It just seemed like after, like, the 3,000th page, they're like, holy shit, we gotta wrap this up, Ken.
We just kept writing and writing and writing.
Just slapped some glitter on it, and then we produced it.
Well, that is the thing about this film that I do really question, is that lack of focus. It's kind of surprising that there is this lack of focus towards the end of the film, because it is very clear to me, at least, that at the beginning of the film, the focus is as kind of crazy and off the wall as what's going on. It is laser-like focus, talking about his life. And then all of a sudden, towards the end of the film, it's like, and the Pope, and the vampires, and now he's, an abbot. And it's
I think a lot of that
keep it together.
Was Ken Russell just trying to throw in... I mean, everything is a heavy-handed metaphor in this movie.
It's 50-50, because he did totally... like, he lived in a monastery. That part is true.
Well, yeah, he's telling, like, his whole life of trying to get out of this hedonistic... but just keep getting pulled back into it. But I think at the end, Ken Russell focuses too much on Wagner and kind of like trying to emphasize the emphasis that Wagner had on Germans.
Right. Well, and Wagner, essentially, like, him stealing Franz's music, it's like, no, they were friends and Liszt, like, helped him. That's the extent of it. Like, I like how over the top it is. It's the high risk, high reward type of situation where it's like, it's all or nothing. It's just, yeah, you're right, Chris. You did lose a lot of focus toward the end there. Too many possibilities, I guess.
Well, I mean, like you guys have said, I mean, they're trying to not only do it in a way that's entertaining, which it is, but also trying to stay true to the life of this person. And I think if you're doing a film like this, not just a straight walk the line, Ray, what have you, biopic about a musical artist, I think if you're doing a film like that, you need to pick one or the other, but don't cow-tie to both, because then this is what happens.
Right. Well, and it's very fortunate that you're coming from one of Ken Russell's earliest films, The Devils, and then going to this film, which is kind of just his more experimental film, in my opinion. A lot of them that he continued on to make are a lot more focused. I think there's only maybe like 2 or 3 that I'd argue is less focused than Liszt's, but I think this one is just kind of up there as like a wild experimental thing, because going from Tommy to this, like, you can see some of the influence in what he was trying to work out, where having a more narrative heavy as opposed to a more music video before music video heavy. Kind of finding that happy medium, and it just didn't pan out.
I mean, again, the end of the film, as kind of over the top and unfocused as it is, it's still more or less entertaining, though. So at least there's that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm still laughing my ass off at the end of it.
Yeah, anytime I see that burning pram with the crying baby pass by, I do snicker a little.
But, the thing that we can't overlook when talking about this film is the fact that this film, Lisztomania, it's about a real thing, which I find really almost as intriguing as the film.
Oh, absolutely, it was. He went on tour for 8 years in a row.
Yeah, and the crowds were just going
long before any kind of tour manager.
Yeah, fighting over his handkerchiefs, but like also like Germany was not a huge fan, but like his little posse of musicians hyped him up enough where he was able to get some traction. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, there was a story that I was reading about where he threw away a cigar, Liszt did, and like a woman picked it up and like put it in a locket and was like what the it's just like
it's modern day pop art. It's straight up rock.
It's like Beatlemania.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really wild to me because when you think classical music, which is what Liszt wrote, that doesn't bring...
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
Have you ever wanted to dive deeper into the horror movies you love? Beyond the Blood is a horror podcast for fans who want more than just surface-level screams. We do deep dives into the movies that shaped us, digging into director commentaries, behind-the-scenes stories, deleted scenes, and the special features that most people skip. Each episode is a love letter to the genre. We break down how these films were made, the creative risks that paid off or didn't, and the lasting impact they've had on the genre as a whole. From 70s slashers to modern nightmares, we celebrate the craft, chaos, and characters that keep us coming back. If you're the kind of fan who rewatches movies with the commentary on, or you simply grew up in the video store horror aisle, the Beyond the Blood podcast was made for you. New episodes every single week. Subscribe, and let's dig deep. Welcome to the Beyond the Blood podcast.
To mind adulation and fervor to a degree of people jumping up and down and screaming and pulling their hair out.
Well, it was the Romantic era, and honestly, like, even the male poets and composers of the time was like, yeah, he's hella hot, would bang. So
I can guarantee you that is a first for this podcast. Hashtag would bang.
Would bang Liz.
Would bang this really old dead composer.
Oh my gosh. I love him because he had like
not
the
his
weirdest
corpse,
phrases.
Jess. What the fuck?
Dig him up. Let's do this.
I would bang this corpse.
Where is Franz Liszt buried?
We're talking about the devils, okay? Right. We're talking about fucking yourself with a femur, which we didn't even talk about last week, which is okay. Sure, why not?
Oh, Ken Russell. He's a wild card. I love it. He's that guy at the party that you don't want to speak near your friends just because you know he will say something so damnably weird that it will kill the mood of the party. But you keep inviting him for the same reason, because it would be hilarious to you.
So what you're saying is, let me get this straight. Ken Russell is each one of us.
Yes. Yes, all three of us.
Don't want you here. Don't say anything to anyone.
You know what's fun is getting naked while listening to. Oh my gosh, so good.
Just walk in with just a gigantic penis. Actually, I have a tiny little penis on my desk. There he is.
Yeah, you need.
But it's not 10 foot.
No, it's not. Nobody can fit on that thing.
No, this would be very disappointing.
5 women at once can.
That's easily one of my favorite scenes. I love that song. I love how bombastic and how cute is Princess Carolyn with those crazy ass pigtails bobbing around as she's sliding a guillotine up. Like, that's awesome.
I mean, that is the thing that I really appreciate about this film is not only does it have really stunning visuals, but the performances are all really great.
Yeah, it's just over the top enough, as well as the visuals. And Ken Russell was always, like, very active in sets. Like, he'd be on his hands and knees polishing a giant record. Like, he would do that.
Like, just polishing those those mirror floors constantly?
Yep.
God,
well,
that would be irritating.
He very clearly has an eye for, the visuals of a film, so I don't blame him.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, casting Roger Daltrey I think, like we've already mentioned, was really a stroke of genius.
Oh, yeah, it was. He revolutionized, like I said, it was like music videos before music videos. He just really was fascinated by pop culture, threw it in there. It was fantastic.
I'm a little sad that we never got a Ken Russell and David Bowie mashing.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
I don't know how that didn't happen, because it's not like Ken Russell wasn't alive when Bowie was.
Yeah, they were
around.
like at the same time.
Yeah,
Well, he was working with Roger Daltrey.
For a couple of them, anyway.
That's the thing, though. Like, Roger Daltrey is so. It almost doesn't even feel like he's playing a part. It just feels like he's playing himself.
And he kind of feels that way in anything that I've seen him in. I mean, obviously, Tommy is a Who-based. I mean, it's...
I know, but even then, he was almost cardboard until the end, because that was the character. It was more of a straight man for all the bombastic nonsense that was happening around him. But, like, with this, I mean, yeah, essentially, like, the backstage party where you get all those nods to the different composers that actually hung out with him. Like, that's very much, he was utilizing what he knew. You could tell it came like super effortlessly. All the reactions, all the like eye rolls and scoffs. But yeah, I guess that, I mean, very true to the history of the character. I think it would be very much like that. I just like that. It's a nice contemporary translation of it.
Well, and that is, I mean, again, back to, you know, kind of making a film about a classical composer. If you go this route, you are going to be making a film that I think has a much more exciting appeal to a larger audience of people than just a cut and dry, generic biopic would.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and like you mentioned, Amadeus, like that would probably be the only other movie that you could kind of compare this to, just because of its depiction of them.
Right, because it was half truth, half fantasy.
Yeah. You know, and I was thinking about today, because I was thinking about like other films that this reminded me of. Something that this reminds me of that's more contemporary than even those films is Rocketman that came out last year. It is very similar in a lot of aspects because it has these musical performances that are coupled with exciting visuals that doesn't just take the straightforward generic route.
Nice. All right. I still have yet to see it, honestly.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I haven't seen any of the like biopics that came out recently. The Queen one or that one. I don't need to see Bryan Singer movies anymore. I'm good.
The other thing about this film, you know, back to these kind of Ken Russell films, is I really appreciate his ability to use imagery in a way that most directors can't. You know what? Does that make sense? Like, a lot of directors really don't have an eye for something like this.
He was definitely more of the... he was more theater conscious, and I find that with a lot of stop-motion animation is because they have that background knowledge of how operas work, how plays work, that they're able to fine-tune the sets to a point where it kind of has that very hand-produced type of look to it, where it's very intricate. Like, a bunch of Ken Russell films has that appeal to it. It's like, one of my favorite animators, Barry Purvis, he does very similar things where he's very aware of the lighting and how it reflects on different textured surfaces. And it just makes for a more visceral approach. It's just like the argument between CGI horror and practical effects. Mm-hmm. It's because all of it is so well detailed and physically there that it just changes the experience.
Which, leading with that reading, I had just sent an article to you, Maggie, the other day, but it's kind of this future of production because of how, you know, COVID and all of that, how everything has changed. We're going to be getting away from doing stuff like that, but there will be sound stages coming back. So it's less going on location and more just kind of creating everything right there. And there will be a lot more digital stuff because of all these like high-end gaming engines and stuff that can do, which I don't love, but also I didn't realize that part of Parasite was done completely computer animated. That totally passed me by. So I was like, well, maybe we can, if they can keep working towards it, it won't look super cheap.
I don't like when they lie to me. Just don't.
I want to just go to the actual location.
Well, like you've mentioned, I mean, there is something to be said for this 1970s down and... I mean, this film isn't down and dirty, but, like, that term of, like, down and dirty filmmaking is, like, everything is real, everything existed, there wasn't a CGI 10-foot cock, it's a real... It's there. They were on...
I hope somebody got to take that home.
Oh my gosh, probably Ken Russell. It was in his garage.
What if he was buried in it, like a coffin?
Oh, I hope so.
Ken Russell passed away this week. He was buried inside of a giant cock.
Or the inflatable legs and crotch. Like, there's plenty of options for burial in Lisztomania.
Yeah, that's right, because the beginning of that scene has Roger Daltrey getting sucked into a vagina.
Yeah.
So,
It's great.
Good Lord.
Definitely worth a watch. If you're confused listening to this, go see it. It is worth every moment.
Yeah, it is one of those films that really, like...
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
We've done, Jess and I together have done multiple podcasts. I have done podcasts on films where it's like, you don't really need to watch it. You can just enjoy us talking about it. This is not one of those films.
No. And honestly, any Ken Russell film, it is worth a watch just to take a gander at those visceral aspects you mentioned, Chris. It's fantastic. One of the ones that isn't on your guys' list is the one about Oscar Wilde, The Last Dance of Salome. And it's a play within a play, which is like a classic theater technique, and it's just passed off so well. But part of the charm is it's like filmed in this tiny little Victorian area with like all of these crazy detailed sets just beside it. So you get like this back and forth with very mundane and very over-the-top glitz, I guess, is the best word.
Well, and like you said earlier, he's very theater conscious, and he wants to bring that into the film world, whereas everything looks so polished and whatever usually in film. This was much more decadent and elaborate, and especially in The Last Dance of Salome, which is a play within a play, essentially. And yeah, you just get all those different textures is what I think you're missing in a lot of stuff now.
It's definitely taken for granted. Like, people who are conscious over textures, I always wins my respect. Because, you know, I work with puppets and animation and shit like that, so I'm always like a keen eye for that.
I want people to watch this movie. I want people to watch The Devils as well. I think that this film is worth watching, but coming from a film that I gave 5 stars to, which is The Devils, which, I kid you not, like, I honestly think that it's going to enter, like, my personal, like, pantheon of, like, top films I've ever seen.
Have you ever given anything 5 stars that you and I have been on?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, I love it. Good.
I don't know. That's a good question. Because we've been doing this podcast. You've been on here since August of 2018.
Yep.
So, I mean, we've done a lot of movies
coming up
together.
on our 2-year anniversary.
That's so cute. I'm sorry I was just buying a gift.
Podcast pals. I'm trying to think if I've given anything a 5. I don't know if I have.
I don't think you have. I mean, to be fair, I don't know that I have either.
I will be the first to admit it. Rating systems fucking suck. I've always been of the mindset you should either watch it or don't watch it. And just because I say you should watch something does not mean it's good. There are plenty of films that are magnificent failures in, like, the best way. I mean, you know, as much as The Room is played out at this point, I would still say it's a film worth watching. But if you're watching it on my suggestion, thinking that it's going to be good...
No, I'm a connoisseur of crap myself. I get that. Like, Pink Angels is a hill I'll die on, and I will be dead ass alone.
That's not true. I liked that movie.
Once you sit through it long enough, it becomes a part of you.
I don't even know what
The
that
ending
is.
got me. I was not expecting
I'll
it.
send you a trailer, Chris. That one is just a gem. I don't know how I stumbled across it on this DVD pack, but it is a gem. It's about gay bikers crossing the country for a drag show. Shenanigans happen. And the ending, frightening.
Is it from the 60s or 70s?
Oh, no, it's like early 70s.
Early 70s, yeah.
Yeah, late 60s.
So is it like Tu Wong Fu before Tu Wong Fu was a thing?
Yes, but...
Exploitation-y.
Yeah.
Because, you know...
Because Tu Wong Fu is emotionally charged, and I adore that film. Pink Angels, nah, not so much. It's more offensive than anything.
Tu Wong Fu is a film that I had not seen until recently.
No kidding. Oh, so good.
I know, yeah, Tu Wong Fu is great. I mean, you know, Patrick Swayze has never looked better. Literally.
No shit, I know.
Patrick Swayze has never looked so good.
Yeah. If I can have that Swayze all the time, sign me up. He should.
Yeah.
I'm in full support.
You know, I really don't like, you know, rating systems, as it were. And there's kind of a utilitarian reason why on this podcast we offer up ratings. But for me, this is one of those films that I would suggest people watch it, but temper your expectations if you're coming at it after The Devils, because it is so vastly, wildly different that from the first scene, I mean, you're watching something that's completely out of the world.
And a lot of his films kind of vacillate between that, because he has some really, like, sweetheart films. Like, I always forget the one where wasn't it Twiggy in that one with the giant record? And it's just this cute couple film. Very sweet.
Yeah.
Then you go to, like, The Devils, which was so controversial it barely played. Then you have Lair of the White Worm, which is next week's, right?
Yeah, which is the 80s.
Which that one has, like, a whole different, like, time pattern to it. It's fantastic how diverse his collection is. Especially, I always forget his sci-fi film. I'm terrible.
Sci-fi film?
Altered States.
Altered States, yeah.
Yeah, and that one I didn't even realize was his until after I watched, like, 5 more films of his. I'm like, what?
And again, that's more so because it's a Patty Chayefsky's writing versus Ken Russell's writing, which is so much more flamboyant.
With that in mind, you can kind of pick out the Ken Russell flares. It's just a lot more subdued.
Well, I mean, I would say Lisztomania is a movie you can watch with your friends. And The Devil's maybe not.
Right. I don't know. I had Lisztomania playing in the background as a spontaneous 7-person party flooded my house. And of course they walk in right at, like, the giant ogre with spats. And it's like, oh god. And they're watching it, and I'm sitting there being like, yep, this is the movie I chose.
And they were all fine with it.
They look at each other and like, we don't let her pick movies again, right?
Well, half of them were tripping, half of them were drunk as shit. So it's like, I guess everybody's gonna forget this even happened. It'll seem like a fever dream. It blends in really well.
Here's the thing.
Why is there a 10-foot penis on the screen? Wait, that wasn't a dream?
Oh, so good. Now they'll be wondering that for years. Did I dream that? Was there a Superman singing about Nazis?
Was
with his
Wagner
child
crushed into a
army
building with his awful popping out of his head ping pong ball eyes?
Yes. God, I love who they picked to play Wagner. He was so over the top, especially when he broke in and drank Litz's blood. See, as I'm saying it, it sounds like I'm insane and I'm talking about 50 movies blended into one. This is why I love it. But
it really does sound like
expression.
50 movies blended into one, because there were vampires in this movie.
And Dr. Frankenstein?
One. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting Frankenstein is in this movie. Good lord.
Oh, gosh.
Frankenwagner.
Yeah. Because he had to become Superman. Because
Count Hitlerstein.
Oh gosh, I love it. I love it. I love that him and Cosima actually got married. Because she was pregnant with his kid at the time when she was married to Hans. It's so good. The drama.
It tries to do the real life story justice. I think it does more or less, but but again, I think ultimately it is entertaining which, in my opinion, is kind of the measuring stick for this film, is not does it land his life 100% accurately, it's is this an entertaining take on his life? And I think unequivocally, 100%.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I hope that if I ever become low-key famous, that's the movie my autobiography is. Well, no, not my auto. I'm going to come back from the dead and make my movie like a Ken Russell film, just so you guys know. But I think that it did it justice.
Yeah, I would think so. I think we're all in agreement, it could use maybe like 20 minutes off the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really start to feel it at the end, where it's like, all right, how much longer
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
Hey, this is Jason Kleberg from the Force 5 podcast, a show that forces a guest to come up with a movie-themed top 5 list topic, and then we reveal our picks on air. Top 5 heist films, top 5 tearjerkers, top 5 movie dogs. Every show you'll be asking yourself, what would be on my list? Guests include directors, screenwriters, actors, podcasters, musicians, authors, and even a professional wrestler. Subscribe to the Force 5 podcast, and you won't just be a listener, you'll be a list nerd. The Force 5 podcast, available wherever you're listening now.
gonna be in this piano rocket?
I drank all my beer. I want to go.
Well, it's like, and then there's an exorcism, and there's the Jews being murdered, and then he dies. It's like, holy shit, just pick something and end with it.
Although, once again, flaming piano, I will stick by. That scene still... hands down, I love the Bloody Mary. Would you make a drink for me? There's some good moments, but yeah, it didn't need to go as far as it did. They were just stretching for a resolution because honestly, like, him and Wagner were like casual acquaintances. Wagner was all about Liszt, and like that's about it.
Yeah, again, like you said just now, while it's not the best paced film, there's some wacky shit going on at the end that it's like, I almost don't even care that it kind of overstays its welcome. Because there's just some stuff I'm just like, okay, sure. Like,
it drops
sure, whatever.
Some good lines, some great visuals. The acting, once again, like, on the nose, it's so cartoonish. It's beautiful to watch. I wish more acting was conducted in that way for certain genres. I don't need entirely all serious. I love the fact that they, like, hype it up so much.
Yeah, it's...
The cartoon aspects of movies went away after the 80s.
Yeah, I would really challenge someone to find a biopic that's been made recently, other than Rocket Man, that embraces the fun of who the person was.
Actually, the comic book that you so graciously bestowed upon me, the David Bowie... Ziggy Stardust story, that actually reminded me very much of Ken Russell. It was less over the top, but it had a lot of aspects where it was David Bowie's life, very factual, but then like he would have conversations with the spirit of Ziggy and shit like that, and it was just so over the top. It worked really well with the narrative. I agree. I would love to see more films that treat a more fantastical approach to these idols, giving them like a larger than life scale.
Look, I haven't seen it because I'm, not rich, but maybe that's what the hype with Hamilton was?
Oh, and that could be, because they did have a lot of fun with that. I have yet to see it as well. My uncle says it's lovely, so... I trust his judgment.
I saw the theater that was playing it at Broadway.
It's in there. I can't go, but I know it's there.
I saw all the rich people going in.
Yeah, I refuse to spend $300+ on a ticket.
Wondering how I'm
Jess was
home.
out busking. She was singing. She was singing "Dance Monkey" and busking in the street for chicken.
Let me catch the second half, please.
I would have just joined the rats in the sewer.
If the rats are in the sewer, they're with turtles, and if they're with turtles, we all know what's going on in the sewers.
Yep.
Yeah, art, classical art. they're making statues and oil paintings down there. And shredding paper, apparently.
They're very recycling conscious.
Dear God. I really wish that more filmmakers approached people's lives with this sense of fun. Reverence, but fun. Because,
yes.
I mean, films like Walk the Line, Ray, Bohemian Rhapsody, which is a piece of shit, but that's a different story. Films like that, like, they're not fun. They almost feel rote. They feel rote and boring and straightforward and like, and then he did this, and then he did this, and then he died. Like, okay, how many times do I need to see this?
They always die.
Like, I could always just read a history book and fucking find that out, but having it...
Or their Wikipedia page.
Right. Get the notes for dummies.
Well, and I mean, it makes sense to portray these people in the way that Ken Russell is portraying them. I mean, these larger-than-life icons that people, just regular people, have built up into these monolithic beings.
He humanizes them.
Right. Instead of just seeing, like Chris said, the beat-for-beat, life of their success, downfall, success.
Very, like, holy. Like, oh, we can't make fun of him. He made a lot of money.
Right.
His family's involved. If we say anything bad, like, oh my God.
Right.
Fuck out of here.
Well, that's the benefit of making movies about long-dead classical composers.
Right.
Nobody's family's
complain?
around.
His corpse? Nobody's gonna say shit.
Count Hitlerstein busts down the door.
Yeah, it's I mean, again, like, that sense of fun really has been lost, and I would love to see some directors coming out. I mean, like, there's not even really a lot of directors who are doing what Ken Russell did then now. Like, there's very few directors now who have that inherent sense and place of art and how art and entertainment intertwine, because, like, these films are nice to look at, but they're also entertaining. And that's a very hard line to tread successfully.
Yeah. Especially considering just how many risks he takes in every single one of his movies, especially for the time. Like, he tackled a bunch of stuff that nobody would touch with a 10-foot pole.
Well, I mean, The Devils specifically, I mean...
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that one got shoved under the rug so fast.
It still is. It's still impossible to find.
Yeah. Yep.
Warner Brothers refuses to release it in the States.
I know, which, F you, then make it public domain. Share, come on.
I can't believe that Criterion hasn't been able to work out some kind of even just streaming deal.
It was on Criterion for a while.
Right.
It was on Shudder for a while.
It makes no sense for it to still be banned. I mean, there's nothing... You can take the Video Nasties list from the 80s, fine, and that's what kind of, on another podcast, Chris, when we were talking to a Finnish filmmaker, he talked about being a kid in the 80s in Finland, where horror was pretty much banned, so that him and his friends would just trade tapes that they got from America.
Yeah.
Jess and I get around Finnish filmmakers.
Oh, you get around?
We do.
We're living the high life here at the Podcast Central.
I'm living the Miller high life.
Oh no! I should push you off that chair.
I'll drink to that. But no, I mean, you're completely right. I mean, I'm honestly kind of surprised that that there wasn't some sort of backlash against this film.
Oh, I mean, they make it hella hard to find. That's why it was on my holy grail list for so damn long. But
yeah, when I went to watch my DVD copy, I was like, I'm going to put a commentary on. Nope, there's no commentary. There's no subtitles.
One button and it's play. That's it.
There are no chapters.
I'm surprised
there's
you
nothing.
Didn't straight up start when you put the disc in, like the bootlegs.
You mean like a VHS? Like a VHS?
Yeah, I really felt at home.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It is on DVD. You can get it on DVD. You can also watch it on Amazon Prime, but there isn't a Blu-ray release of it.
No, which that's a crying shame.
And when you search it on Amazon Prime, all that ends up coming up is the Wolfgang Amadeus Phoenix album, which has a song on there named Lisztomania.
Right. Which,
cool. But I would totally own this soundtrack
wasn't that song
on vinyl.
like super popular in like 2004?
Oh yeah, probably. But yeah, the
Phoenix,
vinyl
they're
was
great. I think Phoenix is pretty good. No, not.
I'm not the biggest fan, but I'm not gonna wedge you over Chris.
I don't even remember. I may be talking out of my ass. I have no idea. I remember maybe liking them.
You travel back to the hipster mid-2000s.
What am I doing? I was really into Linkin Park back in the day, okay? Sorry.
That's okay, we forgive you.
I don't forgive myself, though. That's the problem.
I'm sure Laura's gonna keep popping up the further along this month we go. I am painfully excited for the next few. I think it's a good grouping, guys. There's only a few that I'm sorely gonna miss, but that's all right.
If you have any issues with the movies that were picked,
You won't see the engineer that slams the Nissan Rogue's door 13,920 times. Or the corrosive chamber that simulates 15 years of life in 5 months. Or the Rogue heat-baked for over 300 combined hours. What you will see is a vehicle that can take punch after punch and keep rolling. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality among mainstream brands by J.D. Power. We put it through the worst, so you get its best. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Newer models may be shown.
If you're looking for more horror outside of the mainstream, look no further than Unsung Horrors, a podcast about underseen horror movies. I'm Lance.
And I'm Erica. Every other week, we'll cover a horror movie with fewer than 1,000 views on Letterboxd. We'll even give you double feature recommendations to pair with the movies we discuss.
From gothic to shot on video, from slashers to comedies, from giallo to J-horror, we'll cover all the subgenres. So join us as we unearth these hidden gems of horror.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Unsung Horrors, available wherever you listen to podcasts. And part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Only one person you can go after. That's not me.
Yeah, I'm
sitting
within,
right next to you.
Swinging distance, so... But, no.
Well, let me ask you, Maggie, before we do close this out.
Sure.
What is your favorite Ken Russell film? Is it this film?
It is hard not to love this film. I honestly thoroughly enjoy this one every time I watch it because of how risky these choices were, but also how accurate some of the facts are. I think the acting is very much like my favorite aspect of it. I enjoy Tommy, but it's just way too over the top for me. And I'll also say that I really did enjoy White Worm and Valentino. That's why those are the other two I will be joining you guys on. Because Valentino's a very true to form and another wild story of just a weird-ass actor. And Lair of the White Worm was one that I watched without knowing it was Ken Russell, and a lot of the hallucination scenes are just absolutely fantastic. They're very poignant, as well as some very famous faces in it that I always enjoy seeing. But Lisztomania, I would definitely say, is my favorite. I'd also say Last Dance of Salome. Those would be the two that I would throw out for if you want to get to know Ken Russell. Here you go.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, I again, like, this is now my second one. I know our good friend Mike White has said nothing but good things about Altered States,
Yes.
but not seen that one either, so yeah, it's
gonna have to break it in there, Chris.
I guess so, and I guess I have to watch. The only reason I want to watch Tommy, I'm not that I don't like The Who, but I fucking don't need to hear Baba O'Reilly like 3 millionth time.
Yeah, but I will say the visuals in Tommy are well worth it. Seeing Elton John storm out in his fucking platforms higher than like the Empire State Building is just fantastic.
Well, and I really want to watch it.
Oh, gosh, Tina Turner. Oh, drop dead in that one. And gosh, probably the most sickening scene of beans that I will ever witness in my life.
I want to watch it because Oliver Reed is in it. And in the last week, I have been reading the Oliver Reed biography, and boy, he's one of those people that I think I would like to have hung out with, but I feel like if I hung out with him, the city of Lincoln or wherever we were would be burning down to the ground.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, he sounds like the kind of person that your parents warn you about.
Like, maybe don't hang
what I
out
mean?
with that guy.
Yeah, like,
Don't hang out with little Ollie Reed.
Oh, you're hanging out with the Reed's boy?
Yeah. He's got a tattoo on the end of his dick, like that he'll just show to people whenever.
Wow, I can't say shit about that.
I mean, I was reading a story that Patrick Warburton was like, you know how I know he's got a picture of a tattoo of a bird on his dick? Because that was the first thing he did when I met him, was show it to me.
Wow.
I mean, like you've always said, Jess, like the 70s were like the golden age of filmmaking. If you showed your co-stars your penis in 2020,
nope, bye.
Yeah,
bye-bye.
little...
Oh, God. I mean, there's no way that Oliver Reed would be able to work now, and more so just kind of reasons like with Stanley Kubrick or Alfred Hitchcock, where they're all huge tempers and huge outbursts on set, and there's just no way that that would be put up with now.
No, not at all. It was
not that it ever should have been put up with before, but those movies are pretty good.
British culture really elevated the Hellraisers, which were Oliver Reed, Richard Harris, Peter O'Toole, which, as someone who's a huge fan of Harry Potter, who, by the way, we don't know who it's written by because J.K. Rowling go fuck herself. Finding out that Richard Harris was like a massive drunk, like fighting crazy person, was a shock to my Harry Potter sensibility, to say the least.
My past, it's shattering.
I was like, oh my god, like the guy who played Dumbledore, and apparently nothing else in my mind, because apparently he didn't do anything else in his entire career, was like a massive drinker and like, you know, fought with everybody. Like, it was just so bizarre to me, because this documentary on YouTube was just like going into these crazy stories about them, and I was like, man, these, like, it must have been a trip to hang out with these people. And you know what? Like, reading about Ken Russell, he seems that he might have been the same way.
Oh yeah, just in a different capacity. I appreciate that he, as opposed to being a raging asshole, he just kind of supported these unsupported groups of people. He was very open with sexuality through his movies. I appreciate the hell out of that. All of his roles, like both female and male, they're like pretty 50-50. When I think back on like the guy culture of films then, it's like, well, you get guy A or guy B or the chick that's gonna die soon. Like, at least with Ken Russell, it's like, yeah, Caroline, for life. That is my favorite character in Liszt. But there's also a bunch of different great options. That's like throughout all of his films.
I wonder if Dan Harmon is a big fan of this movie, and that's why he named Princess Carolyn and BoJack.
You know, I thought about that. That would be a cute nod. Because she is definitely in control, and the actual Princess Carolyn, that's the whole reason why Franz actually sat down and wrote music. She's like, hey, maybe you stop touring for 8 years in a row? And he's like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. And it was.
That would be really... and Dan Harmon strikes me as a person that would be familiar with these types of movies.
Boy, doesn't he? Dan Harmon strikes me as the kind of person who I would want nothing to do with if I met him in real life.
Aw, I relate a lot to BoJack, which is sad.
Yeah, no. BoJack is fine. I'm just talking about Dan Harmon, the human being.
Oh, well.
We can't judge
the industry's full of them, aren't they?
Yeah, we can't always judge the art by the artist, unfortunately.
No, we sure can't, especially talking about the 70s.
No, the 70s, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a minefield.
Yeah. Just take a couple steps back and we'll just figure it out.
Yeah, just test the water first.
Yeah. So, Maggie, what would you give this film out of 5?
Oh, man, I'm going to have to go all categorical. If you're going for visual experience, 5 stars. 5 geese out of 1 hen. If you're going for story, it's definitely...
What?
Yeah, there you go.
Esoteric as fuck. I like it. Go for it.
Right. Well, I mean, we're rating Ken Russell movies. I gotta use my inner Ken Russell to like grade these. If you're going for story, it's definitely a 4-foot dick out of 8. So it's not quite there.
It's a half chub.
Yeah, it is definitely the 8-foot half chub.
What about you, Jess?
I think that I'm going to give this 5 giant dicks out of 5 giant dicks.
Yay!
You're giving it a 5 out of 5.
I am. I love this movie.
It 2 legs up.
Whoa now. You know who would like that? Roger Daltrey is Franz Liszt, so, hey.
Yeah, that's fine.
I
right
mean,
there.
Everybody there, I'm cool to party with.
As for
100%.
I'll give it a 4.
Yeah.
Because, again, the ending for me just...
Oh, it's just so close. But
yeah, I know it is. Like, that's it's almost maddeningly close.
Right. Well, and you'll see, especially in Valentino, since that's probably the second closest to the biography type of aspect, it has, infinitely better pacing. The ending to that is flooring, and it's wonderful. I wouldn't change a thing about it. But yeah, it's just so close with Franz. I wish that they could have stuck the landing, but it was very entertaining seeing them tumble through the air and then trip at the very end.
And that's the thing is when we talked about something like The Devils last week, that film, it seems like it knew exactly when it wanted to end, and it ended perfectly.
Right. Mm-hmm. No time was wasted on that one. They needed to get in and out quick.
Exactly. And that's what I was expecting from this film, and I got it 4 out of 5. 90% of the way.
Yep.
So, on that note, we'll take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll talk about what the next episode of Jess Byard June is.
Something's been found in Stone Rig Cavern.
Legend has it that Stone Rig Cavern was the lair of the Dampton worm.
My God. When the venom attacks the nervous system, the victim appears to be afflicted by a form of vampirism.
I hear you're having trouble with a snake.
Ah, and you're going to uphold family tradition and slay the beastie.
Are you out of your mind?
My, you are a fine growing book. Here's to the first swallow.
By Christ, have I a tale to tell you.
I can hardly wait.
Yay.
I'm going to leave that in there now.
Good, you should. I'm not doing this for fun. I mean, I do it naturally, but still.
Doing this very seriously.
I'm doing it for you, Chris.
We're doing it because we're all cashing big checks at the end of the month. Oh, wait.
Oh, no.
None of
the last check.
Cashing any checks.
Whoops.
At least I don't think any of us are. If someone is, please tell me.
No, I just spat on my computer, so there goes my check.
There's your check right there. On the next episode of the Kulturecast, I guess technically the Three Guys podcast, we're going to be talking about the layer of the white worm, which, I mean, if that doesn't sound like another fucking phallic thing...
You'd be right.
If you're not thinking about white dick when you listen to the title of that film, I don't know what you're thinking about.
Specifically, what? Peter Capaldi?
Yeah.
Peter Capaldi and...
Peter Dick Capaldi.
Hugh Grant?
And yeah, huge rant.
Huge rant.
Huge rant and Peter Bacaldi.
People are going to think we've lost our minds, which, you know what?
It's Ken Russell. Get on our level.
We never had our minds to begin with. It's fine.
Yeah, get on our level, gang, if you're watching this.
I really, I've said this before and I'll say it again. First off, man, I love being a turtle. But also...
It's a show of a time.
This really is a month where if you've sat on the fence and wondered if you should follow along with us with the movies we're watching. I don't think these films are going to disappoint in the what is going on category. Like, nope. I get the distinct feeling that the next 3 films are going to be just as over the top, just as visually exciting. And so I would implore you, if you have any doubts, please go out and watch The Devils. Please go watch Lisztomania. There's no reason you shouldn't. It's on Amazon Prime. It's not that hard to find, I promise.
Yep.
The only one that we are doing this month I haven't seen, so I can't say for sure if it's on level with the visual quality, but that would be Horror. But that is Ken Russell's response to Pretty Woman. So if that doesn't sound interesting, I don't know what does.
I think I think just the title alone is a standout. So
we're getting X-rated on this month.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. I know that I'm looking forward to a lot of the films this month. We've still got 3 more films to go. Maggie, you're joining us next week on Lair of the White Worm. So is our good friend Father Malone, who
yay!
Well, I don't know.
I
what
drew
his
that mug
be.
before.
Yeah, I've seen that face. But it's gonna be a party next week, just like it was this week. So until then, Maggie, where can people find you if they're hell bent on looking?
If you're hell bent, you find the nearest dumpster, you hop in, you burrow to the very most corner, and then you find my Instagram at Maggie the Odd.
Wow. Well, can't argue with that, I guess. Jess, are you in the same dumpster, or?
Dumpster directly above mine.
Yep. A dumpster directly above. It's really bad when I accidentally drop a lighter down there and things just go up in flame.
It always rains. I don't know if that's your plumbing or just
you don't want to know.
No, I don't. I really don't.
You can find me on Twitter at writer Jess Byard. Pretty much post everything there, but if you want to hear Chris and I together, not talking about movies, you can follow us on our Scary Stories We Tell podcast, where we just chat about horror movies, we chat about true crime, we chat about all things unexplained. We occasionally have awesome interviews like Jonathan Frakes. So if that's not interesting, then I guess you're in the wrong podcast.
Yeah, it's fucking Xanatos. Get with it.
Yeah,
Xanatoast.
If Jonathan Frakes doesn't sell you, I don't know what will.
And our other podcast, The One Season Show, where we talk about television shows that lasted only 1 season.
It's true. And they only lasted 1 season for a reason.
Sure did.
Season for a reason.
Yeah, boy.
That's our tagline.
Sometimes too much of a good thing is a bad thing.
So, a reason for a season.
As for myself, you can find me on Twitter at casualty_Chris. Jess already did a good job of mentioning the other things that I'm on with her. Chronicles from the Crypt, The Life and Times of Barney Miller, and Dreams for Sale. And that's it. Those are all the podcasts, plus the other 2. So that makes 6 or something. I don't know. I'm not keeping track, because if I did, I would lose my mind. You can find us on Twitter at Kulturecast, kulturecast.com as well, and patreon.com/culturecast. Big thanks as always to our patrons. Big thanks as always to Maggie for joining us.
Thanks. Yeah, vote now to keep my character in season.
This is not Big Brother. We will not be kicking you.
Oh, see. I thought this was the 90s and you guys just needed a radical character, so.
Vote you off the island.
Right.
And as always, make sure to check out the next episode.